Hi everyone, welcome to Awaken into Love. I am here to talk about a topic that so many of you have been requesting in my DMs for the past 5 years that I apologize about. I've never really talked about it before. I'm not really sure why, but today is the day for me to talk to you about retroactive jealousy and also reverse forms of ROCD. So I'm really excited to dive in today about this. I've been working recently with a lot of clients who've been experiencing retroactive jealousy and a lot of DMs coming in. And whenever that happens, I feel like it is a strong sign that I need to be talking about this specific subject because I never want you guys to feel alone. I never want you guys to be like, why hasn't Kiyomi talked about the subject? Like, is it even real? Yes, it is so real. It is so painful. And it is beyond just the small idea of jealousy. It's beyond that. So I'm going to be talking to you all about that today. So if you feel any type of obsessiveness, fixation, go into compulsions about your partner's past in specific, whether it's about your partner's past romantic partners, about just different people that they may have hooked up with, or even present situations. I kind of want to focus on that too, because a lot of stuff that we see on Google is about the past preoccupation about what your partner did with other people. But really, I've seen a lot of my clients also go through just present forms of obsessive thinking and fixation about who their partner could be talking to and feeling just doubtful and afraid within their partnership. Retroactive jealousy isn't really at all just like the typical forms of jealousy within a partnership. I think that forms of jealousy can actually be healthy within a partnership. Of course, not everyone has jealousy within their partnership, and that's okay too. But there are certain forms of jealousy that can come up within a partnership, and that is very just kind of standard within any type of relationship. But when someone has retroactive jealousy, the fixation and the obsession of it is so painful and consuming that a person can literally be thinking about their past, the partner's past relationships in such an obsessive way that it can cause an individual so much suffering and can also impact the partner that they're with as well. I really want to bring that up. If you're specifically a partner of someone who has retroactive jealousy, please know that this can also be equally painful to you too, and that it can be very confusing. The jealousy can be confusing where your partner with ROCD and retroactive jealousy may be feeling controlling, but really it comes from a place of a very strong anxious attachment style where a person with retroactive jealousy feels very, very anxious within, feeling as though their partner might leave them or feeling as though they might be doing something that could be hurting them or could have hurt them. It's almost like the person with retroactive jealousy is constantly scanning their environment, very similarly to ROCD, making sure that they're safe, making sure that their partner is secure and safe and that they're there and they're not going to leave them. But it comes in the form of obsessive thinking and fixation. So it's a very, very strong form of jealousy that I don't want to minimize, where a person is very, very fixated on their partner's romantic past, which is so painful. So if you're experiencing retroactive jealousy, I see you, I hear you. I really want to validate the fact that this isn't just the jealousy that people have in relationships. It's a very, very strong fixation that can be very consuming. So I really want to say that your pain and your suffering is not something that I want to minimize at all. You've probably talked to other people about it where you have this jealousy and this fixation, and they might have been like, oh yeah, that's normal. I'm jealous of my partner sometimes too. But no, I really want to fixate on the fact that this is a very, very intense form of jealousy that really comes from this anxious attachment style where a person could have either gotten cheated on in the past, they could have witnessed something within their childhood where their parents had an affair, or there was some sort of trauma that really brought up this retroactive jealousy. So it really does come from a person's past experiences. That's what I've really seen with my clients and my members, where sometimes a person has really been hurt in the past, where someone has cheated, where someone has had an affair, where they did snoop on their partner's phone and they did find something that was really painful. And now their brain is saying, well, it's happened in the past, it could happen now. So I really, really want to validate that what you're feeling is very strong, right? The somatic sensations and the obsessions can feel really, really intense. So please know you're not alone with this. Now, again, this really comes from this deep form of insecurity that a person has and a very strong anxious attachment style. So again, this can feel very, very painful and is usually really, really painful. So I also want to talk about the reverse forms of ROCD because I get this question asked all the time, which is, hey, Kiyomi, I hear you talking a lot about how one person feels about themselves toward their partner, but I also get the question, which is around what their partner may be thinking about them. Is their partner thinking that they're attractive enough? Being worried and fixated about if their partner is going to leave them or not. So yes, that can absolutely come up in the form of ROCD. It's just not the typical form. We usually categorize that more as relationship anxiety, but you can still have very strong obsessive thoughts and compulsions around checking to see and asking for reassurance if your partner loves you enough, if they miss you enough, if they're attracted to other people, and that can equally be very, very painful as well. I want to go over briefly the retroactive jealousy in terms of compulsions that a person can also go through, which again can be checking a person's phone, asking for reassurance, asking our partner if they are thinking about other people, kind of controlling our partner in a way unconsciously or consciously, and asking them questions to kind of get that reassurance that we are wanting, that our partner is not cheating on us or our partner is not thinking about other people. So again, the compulsions of looking at a partner's phone, looking through different social media accounts, trying to limit who they talk to, asking if they are talking to other people or not. And all of these certain things can come in forms of retroactive jealousy. So understanding that and understanding again that this form of ROCD and OCD can be very, very painful. And again, it is very normal in the form of the world of ROCD and the form of relationship anxiety. So whenever we're starting to work with certain forms of ROCD and retroactive jealousy and even reverse forms of ROCD, we're really starting to become more and more aware of the patterns that we're going into. So that's really the work that we're really doing at the ROCD Academy, or the work that I do at Awaken Into Love, starting to become aware and bringing compassion and understanding to how these patterns come up in our life and how they start to manifest within our relationship can bring in a sense of awareness to ourselves. So starting to become aware of even retroactive jealousy or even reverse forms of ROCD itself is super, super powerful. Now we can become aware, but still feel really, really stuck. So these are a couple things that you can start doing. Starting to become aware of different compulsions that you could be doing can be super, super powerful. So starting to recognize that whenever you're feeling this form of retroactive jealousy, whether it's a somatic experience or obsessive thinking, what are you doing to make yourself feel better? So if you are checking your partner's phone or if you're asking for constant reassurance from them, start to write those compulsions down. Notice what type of patterns you're going into. And instead of doing those certain things that make you feel good in the moment, slowly start to take yourself away from that. So instead of looking at your partner's phone, start to slowly stop doing that and use different forms of acceptance therapy or even compassion therapy to be able to work with those specific patterns. So these are just some ways that you can start working with them. But again, recognizing the patterns is so, so, so painful, because then we can start to become aware of it, and being able to recognize our compulsions is equally important as well. Something really important is to also do trauma work around this. This is something that I recommend for mostly all people with ROCD, retroactive jealousy and reverse forms of ROCD, which is starting to understand the root and starting to understand where it really came from. Now with OCD, we can become really obsessive and actually fixate more and more on the root causes. So I really recommend you to be gentle with yourself and not need to go so deep into where it came from or how it came about, but just to start becoming more aware of, oh, this could have been from my childhood. This could have been from a place where I got cheated on when I was younger, and it makes sense as to how it's coming up. That can really eliminate and take away the shame and really come to recognize, oh, it's my brain's way of trying to protect myself, instead of putting so much pressure on ourselves of where this came from and why this happened. Again, some of you might be like, wait, Kiyomi, I have no idea where this came from, and that's okay. You can start working with a professional to start to understand where it came from, but it is not necessary in order to start working with the retroactive jealousy and the reverse forms of ROCD. So just trying to become aware of the obsessions, become aware of the compulsions, that's just the first step of it. And those are just the 2 steps that I kind of want to give to you today. We can dive in so much to retroactive jealousy and reverse forms of ROCD, but I just wanted to spread awareness here and give you information on it so you are not feeling alone. Again, you can start to work with the obsessions, write down the compulsions, just so you start to become aware of it. And that's the first step of working with retroactive jealousy. But again, just becoming aware of it and understanding it can be so powerful within itself. If you enjoyed this video and this is your first time coming in, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. You can download the free ROCD checklist at awakenintolove.com and find a bunch of information there. If you're ready to dive in and understand more about ROCD, you can go to the ROCD course, which is at awakenintolove.com under the ROCD course. So happy to be here. Hope this video in some way was helpful for you, so you now start to understand retroactive jealousy and reverse forms of ROCD, and take this information in a way that can make you feel empowered and can be helpful for your journey of awakened relationship. Here's to being human. You are so not alone. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.